Welcome, everyone. My name is Shawn Mire. This presentation is based on my life experience. I'm currently 55 years old, and my journey started at 12 years old. 12 years old, I became a young alcoholic addict through my lifestyle with my family life, and this continued on for the next 20 years of my life, and ultimately landed myself in prison at 32 years old, facing a 24-year sentence. Early on in my incarceration, I had a phone call with my mother and found out she was dying of lung cancer, stage 4 lung cancer, and I'd never see her again. And the only thing she knew was her son was doing 25 years in prison, and she would never see me again, and she'd never see me really doing well in my young teenage life or young adult life. I've always battled with addiction and alcoholism. So on her deathbed, I made her a promise that I would change my evil ways. That was approximately the end of 2003, the beginning of 2004. Shortly thereafter, my mother passed away. That day forward, I decided I would do everything in my power within the walls of the prison to change my life, and it started that day. I contemplated suicide after my mother's death, and that was a struggle I battled with. And my own personal story was God pulled me up out of the depths of hell and removed the thoughts of suicide. And I felt really compelled to get off all medication and go to the church. So today I'm on no medications. I'm still involved in the church, and it's been a magnificent thing. Moving forward, I started creating programs in the prisons with a group of gentlemen that had the same outlook and same mindset I did. And for the next 10 years, I helped, assisted, and mentored people with all different types of struggles in their life, law issues, family issues, child issues, children issues, personal issues. And then in 2015, I decided to file for clemency. I filed for clemency in 2015 and was accepted for review and got granted clemency in March of 2016, which was a commute of my sentence to time served, and they put me on a 3-year map. So I started stepping down and out of the prison system. I went from maximum security, which I'd been in for 9 years at Clallam Bay Correction Center. Then I went to a Coyote Ridge medium facility. Then I went to Coyote Ridge minimum facility. And then February of 2018, I made it to work release. I went through work release with no issues, no problems, with flying colors, and ultimately released to my family in August of 2018. Moving forward, I had some struggles in my life. My mother passed away. I wasn't really able to grieve. I had a lot of things that I had to deal with. And so I just started my list on how I was going to continue building my life and new life out in the public. So first thing was addressing my mother's death. So me and my brother, we went to Alaska, where he spread my mother's ashes, and we had a ceremony and spread my mother's ashes, and I had some closure there. We grieved, we laughed, we cried. Then the fear started in, which was, what's next? Where do I go now? So after returning home, I got connected with a lifetime friend of mine who tracked me down through Facebook, and she was clean and sober and lived just a few miles away, and found out I was released from prison after all this time, and knew that I would need to do probation meetings and be accountable to probation. So we hooked up and started going to AA meetings and NA meetings, and really life was looking great. And through that connection, I landed a job at an insulation company and worked as a grunt installing insulation in the floorboards crawl spaces of houses, crawling over dead cats, mice, birds, you name it, they were in there. Bees nests, huge bees nests. And over a 3-year period, I worked myself up and into the office as an assistant program manager, making the most money I've ever made in my life, the best benefits I've ever had in my life, freedom. My schedule was 5:30 to 1:30, and things were really, really looking up. And so for me, that was the beginning of the new me and my new life. The friend that I had befriended, we became very close and ultimately became a couple in a short period of time. And this was divine intervention, we believe, as she had lost some family members, her dad, her stepdad, prior to us meeting. And then while we were together, we found out her mother was sick and was dying. So we spent some time with her mother. Her mother shared their rings with us, her ring and her dad's ring she passed down to us to wear. And these are some things in my life that have really impacted my life and the way I move forward, my thoughts, how I treat people. So we're going to fast forward. My story is long and lengthy. So we ended up ultimately getting married in 2020 in our home, right in the middle of the pandemic. We had a beautiful wedding planned. However, we were on lockdown and we were stuck. So we proceeded with our wedding. We had a wedding in our home with our children and close friends, and had one of my best friends marry us. He was the minister. After that, we had a lot of things that came up one after the other. We were evacuated from our home from a wildfire. Her mother passed away. We had to move the entire home from Alabama back to Washington State by ourselves because the moving company flopped on us. We had some children issues. So we had a couple of children living with us. And we had our sobriety, though. We were in recovery, and we knew that no matter what we were facing, we were able to face it sober and clean. And after COVID started, we decided we were going to move. We were going to move out of the city, and we ultimately moved across the state to the northeast corner of the state, 7 hours away from the west side. And here is where we built our life. In 2023, I became a peer counselor for Conquer Addiction at that time. And I work in the jail. I work with peers struggling with addiction, alcoholism, and really any struggles that I may be able to help them with. And it's been really pressed upon my heart to continue to help. And another powerful thing that I kind of skipped on my timeline here was about a year ago, we found out that our great nephew was in foster care due to his dad being arrested at a stoplight in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. He passed out at a stoplight, and the cops were called, and the child was found in the back seat in a seatbelt at 3 a.m. So he went into foster care. Mother is nowhere to be found. She's out on the streets, and this is my niece. And so I called CPS the next day after we found this out. It was divine intervention. Like I said, it was a conversation that my wife had with her best friend, and it just happened to come up. So I called. That was on a Saturday. I called CPS on Monday and explained who I was and that they had my great nephew in their care. They said, okay, well, let's do a real quick background check on you. So I gave my information. They called me back, I don't know, maybe an hour later, maybe. And they said, yeah, Mr. Mire, there's no way we can release this child to you. With your criminal history, our policies don't allow for that. It's an automatic denial. I said, okay, I understand that. When's the next court date? on this situation, and they told me Wednesday. So me and my wife chatted. We took off the next day, Tuesday, and was at the court hearing Wednesday morning. We had a little pre-court meeting with the CPS, the guardian ad litem, and I explained my situation, my growth. I handed my portfolio, which was about like that thick from prison, explained that I was released from prison early on clemency. I currently work in a jail, have been working in a jail for 2 years. Uh, it just, my list went on and on and on. And I just explained to him that all I need to do is speak to the judge. You allow me to speak with the judge. That's all I'm asking. So we went into the courtroom, we had a hearing, and towards the end of the hearing, the guardian ad litem said that we did find a great uncle of Mason's, and he is here today with his wife. However, his criminal history will not allow him to take custody of the child. Then CPS chimed in and said, yeah, we do not support Mr. Mire taking the child. His criminal history is against our policies, and he's not able to legally take the child, basically. So the judge said, yeah, okay, sure. Mr. Mire, you got something to say? So I got up and I proceeded to advocate for that child and advocate for myself, and explain to that judge that 23 years ago, I made a terrible crime. That was me getting arrested at that stoplight with that child in the car. That was me, the mother, out on the streets, homeless and addicted. I said, but that was 23 years ago. I said, today, and I explained everything I did and everything I gone through, being let out of prison early, working in the jail for 2 years, the fact that the system, if it doesn't allow for someone like me to come in after 23 years and take possession of my family, then the system is broke. It's not Department of Corrections, it's not Department of Rehabilitation, the system is broke, and I might as well just go back to prison, because there's no way for me to move forward in life if after 23 years of a clean record and where I'm at today in my life, that I cannot take my family out of state's care. And it was a long 30-minute conversation I had. And at the end of it, she looked at the CPS employee and told her that she would like the child released to Mr. and Mrs. Mire. And they objected, of course, on the record, and ultimately they released the child to me. Today, we've had that child for a year. We've done a home study, and we passed the home study, which is done by DCYF. We passed it with flying colors, except for my criminal history and my background check. So today, I'm applying for moving forward with the pardon to try and seal this criminal history of mine so that I can be a legal guardian for my great nephew who needs our help and needs our care. So that's a little bit about me. I'm passionate about helping. I'm a humanitarian. I love people. I love children. I love kids. And these tools that I'm about to share with you and these topics we're about to talk about are the things that I learned early on in prison and addressed and helped me get to where I'm at today. And upon further research, these are things that everybody should and really needs to do to really move forward in their life without any baggage, without any past resentments, and without anything holding them back. So with that being said, I'll get started. So Shawn Mire presents transformative life skills. Transformative life skills: gratitude, overcoming fear, harnessing hope, practicing forgiveness, and lasting tools for reflection. Here we outline key transformative life skills: gratitude, overcoming fear, harnessing hope, practicing forgiveness, and tools for reflection. These skills are fundamental for nurturing personal growth, resilience, and self-awareness, helping individuals navigate challenges and build a fulfilling life. Here we outline key transformative life skills. Agenda: essential life skills. The foundational role of gratitude: understanding fear and strategies to overcome it. The power of hope and its application: forgiveness of self and forgiveness of others and its practical application. Then we'll look at some tools, some imagery, and some lasting impressions. The foundational role of gratitude. Focusing on gratitude, this slide sets the stage for understanding its foundational role in emotional health. The image of someone writing in a notebook suggests journaling as a practical way to cultivate gratitude, encouraging active engagement with this skill to deepen its impact on daily life. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that positively impacts well-being and mental health. This section will explore the nature of gratitude and the practical ways to cultivate it daily. Emotional resilience. Gratitude helps build emotional resilience by promoting positive thinking and reducing stress. Practicing gratitude significantly improves mood and overall emotional well-being. Stronger relationships. Gratitude fosters stronger interpersonal relationships by encouraging empathy and connection. Brain and emotion connection. Understanding gratitude's effect on the brain supports intentional emotional practices. So in my life, what I've learned is gratitude is a big player. Gratitude really sets your thought process and your brain in a positive way. My side note here, gratitude positively influences well-being in multiple ways. It builds emotional resilience by fostering positive thinking and reduces stress, which helps us bounce back from challenges. Practice gratitude also improves mood and emotional health overall. Additionally, it strengthens relationships by promoting empathy and connection. Neuroscience shows gratitude affects brain function, supporting intentional emotional practices that enhance our mental state. So for me, I try and wake up every day. First thing, whether I'm out of bed or I just open my eyes, and I try and think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. That really helps set my pace for the day and really puts me in a frame of mind to be accepting and ready for whatever comes my way. I tell my wife how grateful I am for her. I tell everybody around me, I try and tell how grateful I am for them. And that helps me just stay grounded and keeps my brain and emotions in a grateful frame of mind. Ways to cultivate gratitude in daily life. Like I said, like I mentioned, waking up and just thinking of 3 things right out the gate that you're grateful for is a perfect thing to get your day started and wind up your gratitude clock. Gratitude journaling is another way. Keeping a gratitude journal helps individuals recognize and record positive moments daily, fostering a thankful mindset. Expressing thanks. Sincerely expressing thanks to others strengthens relationship and reinforces feelings of gratitude. Mindful appreciation. Practicing mindful appreciation helps individuals stay present and notice everyday positives, enhancing life satisfaction. So gratitude is a major component in your happiness, your joy, and your overall mental health throughout your day. And this slide offers practical ways to cultivate gratitude daily. Keeping a gratitude journal helps capture positive moments, reinforcing a thankful mindset. Expressing sincere thanks to others not only strengthens relationships, but also deepens our own feelings of gratitude. Mindful appreciation encourages staying present and noticing everyday positive, which enhances overall life satisfaction and emotional balance. One thing I've noticed in my own personal life and my personal journey is it's real easy to point out the negatives. It's real easy to have a negative mindset because there's no work involved. You can just look around and, oh, that's ugly. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Oh, yeah, he's a jerk. But when you want to have a positive mindset, it takes you to mindfully understand what you're thinking and what you're feeling, and to counter that, if you're feeling negative, to counter that with positives. And that has been a huge resource for me that has really made me move forward. And we're going to move on to understanding fear and strategies to overcome that, because gratitude, really the opposite of that is almost fear. So with fear, the psychology of fear and its impact on behavior. Fear triggers the body's fight or flight response, preparing us to react quickly to danger. However, it can also lead to avoidance behaviors that limit our experiences and growth. Mindful recognition of fear allows us to observe these responses without judgment, enabling us to manage fear thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, which is key to overcoming its negative impacts. And they say the only way to move forward in your life truly is through forgiveness. And fear is one of those things that is right there. Fear is everywhere. We live in a fearful society. Everything about our society is engrossed with fear. So I learned that early on in prison. They just keep you in fear in there, locking you up, take all your stuff away, losing your good time. Let's fast forward to getting out. We get out, the probation, we're going to violate you. You need to do this. You need to do that. You're going to go back to prison. Your house mortgage. If you don't pay your mortgage, we're going to take your house. If you don't pay your car insurance, you're not going to be able to drive. Fear is riddled everywhere in society. So to understanding that and understanding what we're up against in society itself allows us to regulate our feelings and emotions and be consciously aware when we have these feelings inside of us, what we're feeling and why are we feeling this. And we'll move on. Fight or flight response. Fear activates the body's fight or flight response, preparing us for quick action in dangerous situations. Avoiding behaviors. Fear often leads to avoidance behaviors that prevent facing the perceived threat or challenge. And mindful recognition. Recognizing fear responses enables thoughtful management rather than reactive behavior. Effective techniques for managing and reducing fear. This slide represents 4 effective techniques for managing fear. Deep breathing calms the nervous system, reducing immediate anxiety. Gradual exposure helps build tolerance by facing fear step by step. Cognitive reframing shifts negative thoughts into empowering perspectives. Mindfulness fosters present moment awareness, reducing anxiety linked to fear and promoting emotional balance. So for me, I was facing a little fear about this presentation today. I don't know why. I've talked in front of thousands of people. However, I've never used technology. Technology is new to me, obviously. I was locked up for a long time, so I'm really beginning to understand this and how I'm able to utilize it. But there's still a fear in me, and I feel it, and I felt it today. So what did I do before this presentation? I did some deep breathing. I did some mindfulness, just a little being present in the moment where I'm at, who I'm with, who's around me, and these things helped. These things helped minimize my fear and really it was the fear of it was ridiculous fear. Actually, it was a fear of not knowing what I'm talking about or what I'm going to say, and these things that really hold us back in life. But I'm here. I'm here to share with you guys my own personal experiences and how these things worked for me and how I overcame a lot of these obstacles. So deep breathing helps calm the nervous system and reduces immediate feelings of fear and anxiety. Check. That did for me today. Gradual exposure. Gradual exposure involves facing fears step by step to build tolerance and confidence over time. So for preparing for this presentation, I got on here and I was running the program and going through the slides and pretending my audience is here, and that helped me. That helped me just to eliminate the initial fear. Cognitive reframing. Cognitive reframing changes negative thoughts about fear to positive, empowering perspectives. So you can always change a negative into a positive. That's just easy to do, because if I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to fail at this, I can turn it right around to a positive and say, yeah, but I am a great peer counselor. My peers love me. We have great relationships, and they thank me for the things that I help them with. So that that turns things around for me and gives me some confidence and morale boosting, I guess. And mindfulness. Mindfulness is probably the most important thing, I believe, in my life, to be mindfully conscious of what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're feeling internally, physically. Um, these reduce anxiety linked to fear. Uh, they help in a plethora of ways as well, not just with this. So being mindful of your present moment, where you're at, and who you're with, is absolutely important if you really want to get a grasp of why you go through what you go through, if you're experiencing any of this type of fear. Moving on, transforming fear into personal growth. Transforming fear into personal growth involves viewing fear as a signal for development rather than a threat. Embracing fear builds resilience, strengthening our ability to face future challenges confidently. Overcoming fear also expands our comfort zones, encouraging us to learn new skills and achieve breakthroughs that contributes to lasting personal transformation. And that's why I'm here today, you guys. This right here, all this technology and PowerPoint and slideshow and the presentation. This is something that I needed to do for myself, to build my confidence, to know that, yeah, I can do this. So fear is a growth signal. Fear can be viewed as a sign pointing towards opportunities for personal development and improvement. Building resilience. Embracing fear helps individuals develop resilience and the strength to face future challenges confidently. Expanding comfort zones. Overcoming fear encourages learning new skills and stepping beyond familiar limits to achieve breakthroughs. And that's why I'm here. I'm very comfortable speaking in front of people in person. I've done a lot of that. This, for some reason, it's very intimidating to me. I still feel anxious a little bit right now today. I still feel probably a little bit of fear, but I understand what I'm feeling, and I'm using that as my motivation to move forward to work through this PowerPoint with you guys, as well as work through it with me. Helping to overcome obstacles and maintain focus on desired achievements. So for me, where I learned about hope was early on in prison. After my mother passed away, I learned that people were let out of prison early through a process called the clemency process through the governor's office. Never heard of it before, didn't know anything about it. Read up on it a little bit. That instilled hope for me for the next 10 years. That instilled hope that I would not do all this time for the crimes that I committed. I did some bad things, but they didn't warrant 24 years. And obviously, the governor agreed. And so, definition of hope. Hope is the expectation of positive outcomes that inspires confidence in the future. That was me. I was 100% confident I was not going to do all my time, and I maintained that attitude through the rest of the next 10 years. And hope's role in motivation. Hope energizes individuals to pursue goals and overcome challenges with optimism. And that was me, you guys. Hope was a big factor in my motivational journey. Building hope through realistic goal setting. Building hope effectively involves setting realistic and achievable goals, which helps maintain motivation over time. Identifying clear, actionable steps creates a roadmap for progress, keeping individuals focused. Achieving these goals reinforces hope, encouraging perseverance and sustained effort, even when facing difficulties. So for me, my hope was light at the end of the tunnel. How was I going to get there? I was going to have to change my life. I victimized people. I traumatized people. I lied to people, cheated people. There was a lot of things that I did in my 20-year addiction that I knew I had to address and come to understanding. So moving forward, I became a victims advocate, certified victims advocate. I did pretty much every type of moral recognition therapy you could do. I did everything you could do almost possibly to work on self, to instill hope, to instill the vision of hope 10 years later, applying for clemency after I served 15 years in prison. And that was my driving motivation factor, was hope, and identifying the path that I needed to get to my clemency application, I guess. Applying hope to overcome challenges. Hope supports overcoming challenges by maintaining mental clarity and focus during setbacks, helping individuals stay aligned with their goals. It also fosters adaptability and flexibility, enabling recovery from difficulties and continued progress, which are essential qualities for resilience and long-term success. Hope maintains focus. Hope provides mental clarity and focus during setbacks, helping individuals stay on course toward goals. So there was a lot of times in prison that I really had some setbacks. We were locked down. We were shut down at my job. I went to the hole, nothing of my own doing. And there were some things that really were hope setbacks. I thought, my record was marred now. I got a major infraction. Some things were slipping through my fingers, I was feeling. But hope encourages adaptability and flexibility, enabling recovery from difficulties and continued progress. I just picked up right back where I was after I had my little pity party and consciously became aware again of my thoughts, feelings, and outward displays of my feelings and emotions, because I was angry. Forgiveness of self and forgiveness of others and its practical application. This slide introduces forgiveness as a transformative practice for both self and others. The image of hands weaving red strings symbolizes the complex connections and healing that forgiveness can bring. Forgiveness is presented as a practical tool for emotional freedom and relationship restoration. Forgiveness is vital for emotional health and healing. This section covers its significance, steps to forgive, and how to integrate forgiveness in everyday life for peace and growth. If there's one thing out of this presentation today, you guys, that you may take with you forward, and that's forgiveness. Forgiveness of yourself and forgiveness of others. That is emotional poisoning, and it will hold you back from truly blossoming into your true God-given self and your soul purpose life. So with that, I'm going to move forward. The importance of forgiveness and emotional health. Forgiveness plays a vital role in emotional health by reducing stress through the release of negative emotions like resentment and anger. It promotes improved mental well-being and emotional balance by letting go of grudges. Additionally, forgiveness fosters healthier relationship by encouraging empathy and understanding between individuals. Stress reduction. Forgiveness helps lower stress levels by releasing negative emotions like resentment and anger. Improved mental health. Letting go of grudges promotes better overall mental well-being and emotional balance. Better relationships. Forgiveness fosters healthier and stronger relationships through empathy and understanding. So for me, forgiveness started for my stepfathers that abused me verbally, physically, traumatized me, just all the things that I dealt with as a child. And another important subject for maybe another talk, which is ACEs, acute childhood experiences syndrome, and that's something maybe I'll do a talk on later. But I was a messed up young adolescent when I became sober in prison for the first time in 20 years, and I was facing everything I was running from. I didn't. That's where suicide came in. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it, and so forgiveness for me started with forgiving the individuals that harmed me or traumatized me or spoke bad about me. And it's not about them. Forgiveness is all about yourself, because you carry that baggage with you. You carry that resentment. Subconsciously, you carry it, and it just chips away, and it really sours and sabotages your future relationships, your future goals, your journey ahead. So forgiveness is a very, very important factor. Forgiveness of yourself is probably the most important. Steps to forgive oneself and others. The process of forgiveness begins with acknowledging the hurt cause, which is essential for healing. Practicing empathy towards oneself and others helps repair emotional wounds. Letting go of grudges frees individuals emotionally, allowing personal growth. Finally, choosing to move forward with compassion promotes healing and peaceful, constructive relationships. Acknowledging hurt. Recognizing and accepting the pain caused is the first crucial step in the forgiveness process. You have to understand it and acknowledge what has been done to you and who has done it and the pain that it has caused you. Practicing empathy, developing understanding and compassion towards oneself helps others to heal emotional wounds. Letting go of grudges, releasing anger and resentment allows for emotional freedom and personal growth. When we are finally able to either verbally out loud say, I forgive you, mom. I forgive you, dad. I forgive myself. I forgive Joe, Jim. When we verbalize it out loud, that is putting it in motion, and our subconscious mind is going to feed on that. And forgiving others was the hardest thing for me to do because it's not about them, it's about me. And what we forget or what we do not know is when we hang on to anger and resentments and things that we continue to play over in our mind, the person that caused this stuff or either hurt us, harmed us, uh, or caused any type of damage to us, they're not thinking about us. More than 99% sure that they're not thinking a thought about us. But yet, day in, day out, we're thinking about how they harmed us, what they've done to us, how I hate them, how I want to do bad things to them. And that's poison. That's internal poison that you're continuing to build upon. And that's the whole subject of this. Forgiveness is to let go and allow your body to heal. Integrating forgiveness into everyday life. Integrating forgiveness into daily life involves regular practice to maintain emotional harmony and reduce stress. Forgiveness nurtures emotional balance by releasing negative feelings and fostering inner peace. Mindful forgiveness also strengthens resilience, enabling better coping with life's challenges and setbacks, supporting overall emotional well-being. Regular forgiveness practice. Consistently practicing forgiveness helps maintain emotional harmony and reduces stress in daily life. And it's real easy. All you have to do is just be consciously aware of who trespassed against you and bring the scenario up and speak it into existence. I forgive you for what you did. I carry no burden, no resentment, and just whatever your self-talk is for that situation, make sure it's direct, clear, and addresses the trespass against you. Emotional balance. Forgiveness nurtures emotional stability by releasing negative feelings and promoting inner peace. Absolutely. Strengthening resilience. Mindful forgiveness builds resilience, allowing better coping with challenges and setbacks. Integrating forgiveness into daily life involves regular practice to maintain emotional harmony and reduce stress. Forgiveness nurtures emotional balance by releasing negative feelings and fostering inner peace. Mindful forgiveness also strengthens resilience, enabling a better coping with life's challenges and setbacks, supporting overall emotional well-being. I wanted to read that again. That's very important. Now we're down to some tools, imagery, and lasting impressions. This slide introduces tools, imagery, and lasting impressions as essential components for sustaining personal growth. The visual of various tools suggests practical resources and techniques that can be employed to support ongoing development and reflection. This final section presents practical tools inspiring imagery and reflective exercises to deepen your self-awareness. Practical tools for personal growth includes journaling, which fosters self-reflection and awareness by documenting thoughts and feelings. Meditation enhances mindfulness. reducing stress, and improving focus. Goal tracking provides structure and motivation, helping individuals take intentional actions and monitor their progress towards personal development. Journaling for reflection. Journaling, why I believe it's important, is you get it out of your head. You don't have to keep rolling things around in your head. Revisiting, replaying the tape, you get it out on paper, it's out of your head. If you want to revisit it, you open your journal up and you read. Journaling helps document thoughts and feelings, fostering deeper self-reflection and awareness. And when you're journaling, you're being very consciously aware of your thoughts throughout the day, throughout the night, the week. How often you journal is up to you, and what that looks like for you. Journaling is a very strong reflective aspect of personal development and personal growth because it allows you to see. And really, there's some people, they will set their timers for an hour, so every 60 minutes, to reflect on where their thoughts are, what they're thinking about, and to be consciously aware of where they're spending their time in their head at. And journaling is a big aspect of that. Meditation for mindfulness. Meditation encourages mindfulness, reducing stress and enhancing focus for personal growth. A lot of people talk about meditation as being very difficult. It's easy to get distracted. It's not quiet. What I've learned for myself, through all the different techniques and research that I have looked at, because my mind is very active and I have a busy home with dogs and chickens. And so for me, I've learned that we have the left side and the right side of the brain, masculine and the feminine. We connect them here. We close our eyes and we focus on our breathing. This is allowing our body to become united again, the left side to the right side, becoming whole. And by closing our eyes and focusing on our breathing only, I crack my mouth and I use my tongue to open my sinuses and then close my sinuses. So I breathe in my nose and I breathe out my mouth. As my wife says, smell the flowers, blow out the candles. And for this, for 5 minutes, and when your brain starts taking you to your project list, your goal list, your to-do list, the barking dog outside, I just continually go back to the practice of breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in and breathing out, blocking out everything. And just 5 minutes a day has made a big difference. And I think if people really learn to meditate, they will come to know their inner self, their soul, and their life's purpose. I think things are shown to us and given to us through quiet, through meditation, and you hear a small, still voice. Goal tracking techniques. Tracking goals provides structure and motivation, supporting intentional action and progress. Journaling, meditation, and goal tracking are effective tools that facilitate growth by encouraging self-reflection and intentional action. Goal setting it doesn't have to be complicated, and a lot of people make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. And I'm just going to touch, this is not a talk on goal setting, but I will touch on it. And that is, if you do something little or big every day towards that goal, it doesn't matter what it is, you're keeping that goal in your mind, in the forefront of your subconscious mind, and you're working towards it every day with a phone call, with a note, writing down your thoughts, doing a document, whatever it is. If you're doing something every day towards that goal, you will achieve your goal, if it's within your achievable realm, obviously. Because some things are just beyond our reach, I do believe. And maybe not beyond our reach, but it's not practical for us to pursue those goals. Like for me to be a rocket scientist at 55 years old, that's not going to happen for me. And I understand that. So And I don't want to be a rocket scientist, but those are the things that we have to look at and keep in mind. Are they achievable? Are they realistic? So applying 5 minutes a day to that goal, and actually it could just be 1 minute, 30 seconds or 15 seconds. That will keep it fresh in your mind and keep you consistently committed to achieving your goal. Imagery and metaphors to inspire change. Imagery and metaphors can powerfully inspire change. The blooming flower symbolizes growth, renewal, and the unfolding of potential, while the rising phoenix represents rebirth, resilience, and emerging stronger after adversity. These metaphors help visualize transformation and encourage perseverance through challenges. You know, that's my driving motivational factor is becoming better than I always have been or any time in my life uh, against the adversity and the challenges that I face with acquiring a guardianship of my great nephew to becoming a licensed state care worker, being able to speak in schools, youth programs. Those are the things that I'm passionate about and I would like to do. So my goal is to make that happen one way or the other. And so through the pardon process is going to be my first opportunity to address that. So the conclusion, reflective exercises deepen self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Guided journaling prompts encourage exploration of personal thoughts and feelings. Mindfulness reflections promote presence and emotional balance. Together, these practices support lasting personal development by fostering insight and thoughtful decision making. Guided journaling prompts. Using guided journaling prompts encourages self-exploration and deeper understanding of personal thoughts and feelings. And like I mentioned, some people set their timers on their phones throughout the day just to be mindful of where they're spending their time at. Where are they spending their time and their mind at? What is it on? Is this a waste? Is this helping or hindering? Mindfulness reflections. Mindfulness reflections promote awareness and presence, fostering emotional balance and insight. So when you're subconsciously mindful of your thoughts and your actions and what is going on right now, you have an opportunity to take inventory. Is this helping me? Is this hindering me? Is this moving me towards my goal for the day or my sense of peace for the day? It just helps you see where you're at, see where you possibly were heading, and do some changing up and maybe do some meditation, journaling, uh, just some realigning your thoughts and your goal for the day, and really just being present in your mind, in your body, how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and that allows you to really be on top of where you want to be and where you want to go in my own personal actions and feelings. So in conclusion, embracing and applying transformative life skills, gratitude, overcoming fear, harnessing hope, practicing forgiveness, and using reflective tools enriches our lives. These skills foster positivity, empower us to face challenges confidently, inspire resilience, promote healing, and enhance self-awareness, ultimately supporting a fulfilling and balanced life. And for me, this has been my recipe, you guys. These things have transformed my life dramatically. And that was the reason behind this presentation today, was to share with you guys the things that really have made a difference in my life. And if any of these things are resonating with you guys, I encourage you to dig deep in it, and find out how it's applying to you, how you can address it, how you can overcome it. I've presented some tools, some information, but there is a plethora of information on each one of these subjects. But most of all, You have to find how it applies to you and what your meaning and definition and application of each one of these subjects are. So thank you guys. Enjoy your day and be at peace.